Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Dice, aka Dicem, and I am back at it again with another banger of a video. Today, I am here to look at the Godzilla lore and talk about Godzilla Supernova, Godzilla X Kong Supernova. So, without further ado, let's talk about the future of the MonsterVerse. Let's talk about the lore within the MonsterVerse. So let's get it. Let's go. Check it out. Godzilla is known as Titanus Gojira. That's his species name. He is the last of his kind that we know of, but there could be another member of his species, or a Titanus Gojira, more specifically Mega Gojira, like the ones we saw with the bones from GVK. Now it could be one of them or a member of Godzilla's species. Now, the Gojira specimen could have been experimented on by extraterrestrials, or it could have formed naturally in a black hole, whatever you want to say, however you want to put it. Basically, we get the concept for Space Godzilla, Super Godzilla, Space Godzilla, you get the point. So Godzilla is unbelievably powerful as is, but he's actually gotten a power up multiple times to the point where now he's in his evolved form and he is the most powerful he's ever been in the legendary MonsterVerse to date. Even the pre-evolved version of Godzilla in the MonsterVerse was a savage. He was dope, and he protects the planet by all means, and he will kill his foes without any hesitation. Though it is a matter of debate among the fandom, some say that the new evolved version of Godzilla is even more powerful than Godzilla, the thermonuclear Godzilla. You mean the one that destroyed Ghidorah, King Ghidorah, with his atomic pulses. And here we see Godzilla, when he became supercharged Godzilla, he had atomic pulses that were blue in color. And then he transforms into his evolved form after going into hibernation in a cocoon of sorts. And then he comes out and becomes evolved Godzilla, the most badass, powerful version of MonsterVerse Godzilla we've seen to date. To this day, he fought and killed Tiamat, absorbing the radiation and energy from the Titan. Godzilla is a Titan that absorbs radiation as his fuel because he is the king of the monsters, and he can absorb the energy from other Titans. He was weaker than King Ghidorah, and then he fought him. He became thermonuclear Godzilla. He beat him. He went into his hibernation, and he ended up waking up, becoming evolved Godzilla. He had absorbed enough energy to reach this state in his life cycle, and he is the most powerful Godzilla we have seen in the MonsterVerse. In GVK, Kong was able to claim a victory against Godzilla. He claimed a round against him, but evolved Godzilla would kill him. Now, Space Godzilla could even be introduced anytime soon, as it is very heavily rumored, basically confirmed at this point, that Space Godzilla will, in fact, be in the next MonsterVerse film, Godzilla X Kong Supernova. Godzilla shows that he is at a level he's never been at before, but now we're going to see a version of himself twisted into a space creature that we have never seen before, a cosmic threat, the looming presence of a greater villain being revealed. So Space Godzilla acts on his own behalf, working for a greater entity. They could even bring back Ghidorah, they could bring back a new version of Gigan, they could bring in Destoroyah. They could do so many things. I feel like they are building towards Destoroyah as the final boss of the series. When they use the Oxygen Destroyer in Godzilla King of the Monsters, this is foreshadowing for Destoroyah showing up in the series. They could actually have Ghidorah be cloned, or a piece of him cloned, or his final brain could be used in a cloned body, or a body that's partially cloned or partially mechanical. He could show up in that way, or there could be another Ghidorah of his species, or another type of Ghidorah like Kaiser Ghidorah. There's limitless options here. Destoroyah is one that we've been hearing about for a long time now. He's the end-all be-all here. as he was the one that fought Godzilla before he literally died in the High Size series. Destoroyah is created from the Oxygen Destroyer and can use Oxygen Destroyer beams to his advantage, among other things. Now we got Mecha King Ghidorah as a concept that I think is very, very interesting. But I still want to see Destoroyah and Gigan show up, maybe even Mecha King Ghidorah. And to be honest, I still want to see the Muto Prime in live action. You mean, like, that's just something that I really want to see. Godzilla has been alive as long as the Permian period, or further back. And like King Ghidorah, he belongs to an entire species of his own kind. Only his kind is extinct at this point, at least presumed extinct. I think Destroyer would be dope on the big screen. Destroyer, however you want to pronounce it. And Mechagodzilla is one of my personal favorite additions to this conversation. I feel like he should have his own appearance in the MonsterVerse, and that might just be my opinion, but I feel like that's a good opinion. Kaiser Ghidorah or Mecha King Ghidorah could show up within the MonsterVerse after or during Godzilla X Kong Supernova. We don't know at this point, but I'm interested in exploring that possibility. I think it would be sick to see Gigan or Muto Prime show up in the MonsterVerse. Gigan is one of my favorite Daikaiju, aka Giant Monster. I have personally been waiting to see Gigan in a MonsterVerse film for the longest time, as long as I can remember, as long as Legendary's MonsterVerse has been around. I feel like Godzilla X Kong Supernova is probably going to be dope. It's probably going to be awesome. I can't wait to check it out. I do love Godzilla, so I might be biased, but it is what it is. I think they could do something great with the concept of Space Godzilla and the other kaiju mentioned. This could actually be leading up to the reveal of some sort of alien intelligence or civilization or kaiju, and it's probably all building towards the reveal of Destoroyah, as well as possibly a greater cosmic threat, along with Space Godzilla and maybe different variants or some sort of variant of King Ghidorah or Mecha King Ghidorah, even Kaiser Ghidorah. Kaiser Ghidorah is a huge version of Ghidorah whose gravity beams actually have anti-gravity properties. He uses the gravity beams, the electric beams, to levitate kaiju and send them flying through buildings and skyscrapers. Now, Gigan is another fan favorite, one of my favorites as well. Being a space dinosaur cyborg, he's an interesting case. Space Godzilla is as well. Space Godzilla is an interesting variant of Godzilla to begin with. Now, Destoroyah, I feel like, is in fact a better villain, but Space Godzilla is an interesting case. No, don't get me wrong, I love Space Godzilla just as much as the other kaiju. I just am more interested in seeing the other kaiju that I mentioned show up. Space Godzilla is dope, and I feel like this version could be badass and pretty sick, pretty cool. It's been your boy Dice, aka Dice, and I'm officially outie. Peace.